Introduction. A mysterious warship emerges. In the far reaches of the galaxy, where the light from distant stars barely touched the surface of unknown worlds, a new mystery began to stir. The galaxy had known peace for centuries, with alliances, treaties, and the constant ebb and flow of life. Yet, peace had a fragile edge. On the edge of the known universe, a secret was about to be revealed, and it would change everything. The Empire, a vast and powerful civilization, ruled over thousands of planets. It was known for its mighty fleets of warships and its technological advancements. No one dared challenge their rule, for their strength was legendary. But even the Empire, with all its might, was unaware of a new force that had emerged. An ancient weapon, one that had been hidden away for ages. Its appearance was not by accident. It was part of a bigger plan, a plan that had been set in motion long before the Empire's rise. It started with rumors, whispers in the corners of trading hubs and secretive meetings. They spoke of a ship, an enormous, powerful warship, unlike anything seen before. Its name was unknown, but its power was clear. It could destroy fleets with a single blast. It could outmaneuver any enemy, no matter how advanced. No one knew who built it or how, but those who had seen it from afar described it as a shadow in the sky, a ship that was both terrifying and mesmerizing. At first, no one believed the stories. They were just tales passed from one traveler to the next, until one day, a signal was received by the Empire's military command. It was an encrypted message, too advanced to be easily decoded. But after much effort, they managed to break the code. The message was simple but chilling. The human warship has emerged. Beware. The Empire's officers were puzzled. A human warship. Humans were known for their resourcefulness and creativity, but they had never been a threat on the scale of other galactic civilizations. How could this be possible? The Empire's first reaction was to dismiss the message as a prank, a mistake, or perhaps the result of some malfunction. But as days passed, more reports came in, each one describing the same mysterious ship, and each one confirming that it was far more than just a rumor. Planet after planet reported sightings of the warship, its sleek, dark silhouette appearing on their scanners. Some claimed it moved faster than any ship they had ever seen. Others spoke of its weapons, which could wipe out entire fleets with a single shot. And then came the reports of its crew, human, just as the message had said. The Empire's disbelief quickly turned to unease. A fleet was dispatched to investigate. Led by one of the Empire's most skilled commanders, the fleet approached the region where the warship had last been seen. Their mission was simple: find the ship, assess its capabilities, and neutralize it if necessary. The fleet had the power to destroy anything in its path. They were confident, knowing that no one had ever posed a real threat to the Empire. As the fleet entered the region, the tension grew. Every officer on board knew that something was different about this mission. They weren't just up against any enemy. They were facing something unknown, something that had caught the attention of the entire galaxy. And then, as if on cue, the warship appeared. At first, it was just a small dot on their scanners, but within moments, it grew larger and larger. It wasn't like any ship they had encountered before. Its design was sleek, almost organic in nature, and it moved with a grace that was both beautiful and terrifying. The warship was silent. No signals were being sent. It simply appeared on the horizon, as if it had always been there, waiting. The Empire's fleet commanded the ship to identify itself, but there was no response. The commander of the fleet ordered his ships to move into attack formation. They would overwhelm this strange vessel quickly, just as they had done with countless others before. But as the fleet closed in, something unexpected happened. The warship shifted positions with incredible speed, dodging every shot fired at it. It moved as if it were alive, responding to the fleet's movements with uncanny precision. It was clear now that this was no ordinary ship. It was more advanced, more capable than anything the Empire had seen. Without warning, the warship fired. A single shot, a beam of energy that seemed to tear through space itself. The blast hit one of the Empire's ships, and in an instant, the ship was destroyed, vanishing in a flash of light. The fleet commanders were stunned. They had never seen a weapon like that before. It wasn't just powerful, it was beyond anything their technology could handle. The battle continued for hours, but it became clear that the warship was not just evading them. It was toying with them. It had no fear, no hesitation. Every attack they launched was countered with ease. The Empire's fleet began to retreat, unable to fight this force. And just as quickly as it had appeared, the warship vanished into the darkness of space, leaving behind a fleet that was now broken and scattered. The Empire's commanders returned to their home base, their minds racing. What had they just encountered? It was clear that this warship, this unknown human vessel, was not just another ship. It was a weapon of unimaginable power, too powerful for the galaxy to ignore. The Emperor himself was summoned to discuss the event. The question was no longer whether they could defeat the ship, but rather, how could they even begin to understand it? For the first time in the Empire's history, there was a force that could not be easily defeated. There was a new player in the galaxy, one whose power was both a threat and a mystery, and it was only the beginning of the human warship's journey across the stars. The arrival. First contact. The galaxy, once calm and orderly, now hummed with uncertainty. The Empire's defeat at the hands of the mysterious human warship sent shockwaves throughout the known universe. Civilizations that had once feared the Empire now began to question the status quo. But as whispers of the warship spread, it became clear that this wasn't just any ordinary ship. It was something far more powerful, something that could change the balance of power in the galaxy forever. The Empire's first priority was to find the warship, and they would stop at nothing to capture or destroy it. But with every fleet they sent, the human warship seemed to vanish into thin air. It was as if the ship was always one step ahead, anticipating their moves before they even made them. Reports came from across the galaxy, each one detailing an encounter with the warship, but none of them ending in victory. It was clear now. The warship was not just powerful, it was untouchable. Then, one day, a message arrived on the Empire's secure channels. It was simple, but chilling. The human warship has arrived. The message came from a distant planet on the outer rim, a place not known for its strategic importance. At first, the Empire dismissed it as another false report. But then, the message was followed by a transmission, live footage of the warship in action. The camera shook as it focused on the enormous ship, its dark silhouette looming over the planet. It was a terrifying sight. The warship's size was beyond anything the Empire had ever encountered. It was unlike any of their own ships, with sleek curves and sharp edges that seemed to catch the light in a way that was almost unnatural. The warship hovered silently in orbit, as if it was waiting for something, or someone. The transmission showed a fleet of alien ships approaching the planet. They were known for their brutal tactics and advanced weaponry. For years, they had terrorized nearby civilizations, and now they were threatening this peaceful planet. But as the alien fleet neared the planet's atmosphere, the camera zoomed in on the warship. Without warning, the warship's engines flared to life, and it shot forward with incredible speed. The alien ships opened fire, but the warship dodged every shot with ease. It moved like a predator stalking its prey, graceful and deadly. The alien fleet tried to regroup, but the warship was too fast, too powerful. With a single burst of energy from its weapons, the lead ship of the alien fleet was obliterated in an instant. The remaining ships attempted to retreat, but they were no match for the warship. One by one, they were destroyed, their shattered remains floating in space. The camera zoomed out to show the warship still hovering above the planet, as if daring anyone to challenge it. The transmission ended with a simple message. The human warship has arrived. It will protect this planet. The news of the warship's arrival spread quickly, and the galaxy was thrown into chaos. Some saw it as a sign of hope, a powerful protector against the galaxy's many threats. Others saw it as a new menace, an unstoppable force that could turn the tide of power in the universe. The Empire, however, saw it as a direct challenge to their rule. They couldn't allow a single ship to disrupt the delicate balance of power they had maintained for so long. The Emperor himself ordered an emergency council meeting. He could not allow the human warship to remain a threat to the Empire's control. A plan was set in motion, a plan to hunt down and eliminate the warship before it could do any more damage. But even as the Empire made its preparations, another truth began to emerge. They were no longer the galaxy's most powerful force. In the wake of the warship's arrival, several other factions began to take notice. Some were curious, others fearful, and a few even saw the warship as an opportunity to challenge the Empire's rule. The galaxy was on the brink of a new era, one where the human warship would play a pivotal role in shaping the future. Would it be a force for good or destruction? Only time would tell. But for now, the warship remained a mystery. No one knew who controlled it, how it was powered, or where it came from. All they knew was that it was powerful, far more powerful than anything the galaxy had ever known. And as the Empire prepared for war, the question on everyone's mind was, who could stop it? The overwhelming power. Fear spreads. The warship's name, once only whispered in fear, was now on every lip in the galaxy. The Titan. That was what the mysterious vessel was called. It was more than just a ship. It was an unstoppable force, one that had proven itself against even the most advanced fleets in the galaxy. And it wasn't just about the ship's size or firepower. It was something deeper, something no one could quite explain. The Empire, shaken by its defeat and the subsequent rise of the Titan, found itself in a precarious situation. For centuries, they had been the rulers of the galaxy, their vast fleet and technological supremacy unquestioned. But now, the warship had shaken that confidence to its core. No longer did the Empire feel invincible. The fear of the Titan spread across the galaxy faster than any warship could travel. Its mere presence was enough to make the strongest civilizations question their own power. On one planet, a proud and militaristic race known for their heavy armor and weapons had received word of the Titan's defeat of the alien fleet. At first, they laughed it off. Humans were known for their ingenuity, but they were not to be feared. However, after watching the footage from the battle, the tone of the conversation quickly changed. No one had ever seen a ship move like that. No one had ever seen weapons that could destroy an entire fleet with a single shot. And no one had ever seen anything that could dodge incoming fire with such precision. The Empire's generals, in their strategic hubs, began to reconsider everything they knew about warfare. They had always relied on their overwhelming strength, massive fleets, advanced weapons, and an iron grip on the galaxy's resources. But the Titan didn't fight like any enemy they had faced before. It was too fast, too powerful, and too smart. The warship didn't just respond to attacks. It anticipated them. Every move they made was countered. Every attack they launched was avoided. It was like trying to catch a shadow, one that only grew stronger with each passing moment. As the reports flooded in, even some of the Empire's most seasoned leaders began to doubt their ability to win this fight. The problem wasn't just that the Titan was powerful. It was that no one knew who was behind it. Who controlled this force? What kind of human could command such a ship? Was it a government? A rogue faction? Or was there something even more mysterious behind it all? Across the galaxy, word spread. The Titan wasn't just a force of nature. It was a harbinger of something much greater. In every corner of the universe, from the smallest mining colonies to the largest galactic hubs, the power of the Titan began to weigh on the minds of those who had long thought themselves untouchable. For some, the warship was a symbol of hope. In an age where galactic warlords and brutal empires had long ruled with fear, the Titan was seen as a force that could challenge the established order. For others, it was a terrifying omen. If a single human warship could cause such destruction, what would happen if more followed? The galaxy began to split into factions. Some saw the Titan as a new form of power, one that could bring about a shift in the balance of the universe. Others feared that it was a ticking time bomb, a weapon that could easily tip the galaxy into chaos. One thing was clear: the Titan was more than just a ship, it was a force to be reckoned with. The Empire, meanwhile, prepared for a counterattack. They could no longer afford to ignore the threat. If they didn't neutralize the Titan soon, they risked losing their control over the galaxy. But how could they defeat an enemy that was faster, more powerful, and seemingly invincible? How could they fight a warship that seemed to predict their every move? In the shadows, those who controlled the galaxy's most powerful factions began to meet in secret. A coalition of forces was formed, each one with its own agenda, but all united by a common goal: the destruction of the Titan. Together, they planned their next move, one that would bring the warship down once and for all. But the question remained: could they even touch it? As the battle for the galaxy's future raged on, one thing became certain: the era of the Empire's dominance was coming to an end. The Titan had emerged, and with it, a new age of uncertainty, fear, and potential. The warship was more than just a weapon. It was a symbol of something greater, a force of nature that could either save or destroy everything. And with each passing day, the Titan grew stronger, its presence casting a long shadow over the galaxy. The question that everyone was asking now was no longer how to defeat it, but how to survive in a galaxy where such a force could exist. The decision: banned and outlawed. The galaxy was in turmoil. Civilizations, once content with their place in the grand scheme of things, now faced an uncertain future. The rise of the Titan, the human warship of unimaginable power, had disrupted the very balance of power that had held the galaxy together for centuries. Rumors of its abilities and actions spread far and wide, and fear began to grow. The once untouchable Empire was now scrambling to find a way to stop this mysterious force. But there was something even more terrifying happening in the shadows. The Galactic Council, the governing body of all the major civilizations, had convened in secret. Representatives from all across the galaxy, from powerful empires to small, peaceful colonies, gathered in a fortified chamber to discuss the most pressing issue they had ever faced: the threat of the Titan. The Council had never faced anything like this before. A single warship had emerged that could obliterate entire fleets, outmaneuver the best military minds, and strike fear into the hearts of the galaxy's most powerful leaders. The meeting was tense. On one side of the chamber, the Empire's top officials argued that the warship must be destroyed at all costs. "This is not just a ship," one of their generals declared. "It's a symbol of rebellion. If we let it continue unchecked, it will lead to the collapse of our order. It must be outlawed. It must be eliminated before it causes more chaos." But the representative from a smaller, peaceful colony spoke out against the Empire's proposal. "The warship isn't just a threat. It's a force of nature. We can't control it. We don't know who controls it. If we destroy the Titan, we may be bringing down the wrath of whoever is behind it. We don't know if they are allies or enemies." The debate raged on for hours, each representative bringing forth their own arguments and fears. Some believed that the Titan represented a new age of humanity, a force capable of fighting back against the oppression of the Empire and other dominant powers. Others, however, saw it as a ticking time bomb, a weapon too powerful for any one group to control. Finally, after much deliberation, the Galactic Council reached a decision. The Titan was too dangerous to be allowed to exist. Its power was unmatched, and its potential to destabilize the entire galaxy was too great. But an unanimous vote was cast. The Titan was to be outlawed. No faction or civilization could be allowed to control such a weapon. It was declared a galactic threat, and every effort would be made to find and destroy it before it could do any more damage. The decision was not made lightly. In the days that followed, messages were sent out to every corner of the galaxy. The Titan was now officially an enemy of the galaxy. Any ship or fleet that encountered it was authorized to engage, and no mercy would be shown. The hunt was on. But even as the Council issued their decree, a sense of doubt lingered in the air. Was this truly the right decision? Could they really afford to challenge a force as powerful as the Titan? There were whispers in the halls of the council chamber. Some wondered if they had just made a grave mistake. Others feared the unknown. Whoever had built the Titan was capable of more than just creating a single ship. What if there were others? As the hunt for the Titan began, the galaxy's most powerful fleets moved into action. The Empire led the charge, deploying their most advanced warships to search the galaxy for the mysterious ship. They believed that they were the galaxy's supreme force, and no matter how powerful the Titan was, they could find a way to defeat it. But every time they thought they were closing in on the warship, it seemed to slip away, vanishing into the unknown. Meanwhile, a few brave individuals on distant worlds began to investigate the Titan in their own ways. Some tried to learn its secrets, believing that understanding its technology might give them an advantage. Others saw the Titan as a symbol of human resilience and strength. They did not fear it. They admired it. But their efforts were in vain, for the warship continued to elude everyone, always staying one step ahead. In the Empire's heart, a new plan was devised. It was no longer about trying to defeat the Titan in battle. It was about finding the source, the one who controlled it. If they could capture or kill the human who commanded the warship, they might be able to take control of the ship itself. But even this plan was fraught with danger. No one knew where the warship had come from or who was behind it. The hunt was as much about discovering the truth as it was about eliminating a threat. And so, the hunt continued. The galaxy was on edge, divided between those who feared the Titan and those who saw it as the last hope against oppression. It was no longer just about the warship itself. It was about what it represented. It was a symbol of power, a force that could change the galaxy's future. The question was no longer whether it could be stopped, but whether the galaxy could ever be the same again once it had emerged. As the search for the Titan stretched on, one truth became clear to everyone. The galaxy had been irrevocably changed. There was no going back. And whatever happened next, the legacy of the Titan would be felt for generations to come. The truth, human resilience. The galaxy, once filled with uncertainty, was now gripped by fear and tension. The Titan had become the central figure in this new chapter of galactic history, and its power was felt everywhere. The Galactic Council's decision to outlaw the warship had only fueled the mystery and fear surrounding it. What the Empire, the Council, and countless other factions failed to understand was that the Titan was more than just a weapon of war. It was a symbol, a manifestation of something that transcended technology. It was the embodiment of human resilience. As the hunt for the Titan continued, small pockets of resistance began to emerge on distant planets. These groups, made up of individuals from various walks of life, had started piecing together the truth about the warship. They weren't soldiers or military commanders. They were regular people, explorers, engineers, and scientists, people who had seen the potential for greatness in humanity. They weren't afraid of the warship. They believed in it. These individuals had been studying the origins of the Titan, not just its technological aspects, but its purpose. It wasn't just another war machine created for domination. It was something far more profound. They discovered that the warship was part of an experiment that began long ago, before the rise of the Empire, before the known galaxy had even reached the technological heights it had today. The first hints of the truth came from a forgotten colony world on the outskirts of the galaxy. The colony had been all but abandoned after an ancient disaster, but within its ruins, a group of independent scientists stumbled upon long-lost records, files detailing the creation of the Titan. These records spoke of a secret project, one that had been initiated by a group of humans long ago who sought to create a warship capable of not only defending their species, but also pushing the limits of human ingenuity. The warship was designed to be more than just a ship. It was a living, breathing force, built with the very best of human technology, but enhanced with something more: human spirit. The ship's core was infused with a unique blend of artificial intelligence and human willpower. It was a ship that didn't just respond to commands. It responded to its crew's instincts, emotions, and sheer determination. The ship's design was based on human resilience, built to adapt and overcome in the most impossible situations. As the scientists delved deeper into the records, they uncovered an astonishing truth. The Titan was not just a weapon. It was a reflection of everything that made humanity unique. It was a result of humanity's ability to endure, to adapt, and to fight back against overwhelming odds. And most importantly, it was a reminder that no matter how small or powerless a species might seem, there was always a way to rise above. The creators of the Titan had envisioned a ship that could face any threat and emerge victorious, not through raw strength alone, but through the strength of will and innovation. As more pieces of the puzzle fell into place, the small group of truth-seekers realized that the Titan had never been intended for destruction. It was meant to protect, to defend those who couldn't defend themselves. And yet the galaxy had twisted its purpose. The Empire saw it as a threat, while the Council feared its power. In reality, the Titan was a testament to the very thing that made humans special: resilience in the face of impossible odds. Meanwhile, on the far edges of the galaxy, the warship continued its journey. It had faced numerous battles, each one proving its strength and superiority. But it wasn't just the firepower that made the Titan invincible. It was its crew. The humans who commanded the warship weren't just soldiers. They were pioneers, adventurers, and survivors. Their bond with the ship was unlike anything ever seen before. Together, they had forged an unbreakable connection, one that made them a force to be reckoned with. In the midst of the chaos, a realization began to spread. If humanity had created the Titan, if they had designed it with the understanding that resilience was the key to survival, then perhaps the galaxy was not ready to face what humanity had become. Perhaps the galaxy needed to learn from the Titan, to understand that strength wasn't just about firepower, but about heart, determination, and the will to fight for what was right. The warship wasn't just a challenge to the existing power structures of the galaxy. It was a challenge to everyone's understanding of what was possible. It was a symbol of the untapped potential that lay within humanity, and it was showing the galaxy that the greatest strength of all was the ability to never give up. As the hunt for the Titan intensified, more and more people began to question the narrative being forced upon them. The fear of the warship was understandable, but it was also misplaced. The warship wasn't the enemy. It was a representation of what could be achieved when humanity pushed beyond its limits. Those who had seen the Titan in action knew the truth. It was not a tool of destruction. It was a beacon of hope. And so, as the warship's journey continued, its true legacy began to take shape. It was no longer just about defeating the Empire or any other force that sought to control the galaxy. It was about showing the galaxy that humanity had something special, something that no one could take away. The warship, driven by human resilience and innovation, was a reminder to the galaxy that no matter how powerful the enemy, humanity would always rise to the occasion. The final showdown, a warship's legacy. The galaxy had been shaken to its core. Empires, factions, and civilizations that once stood proud now found themselves on edge, caught in the endless pursuit of the Titan. The mysterious warship, so powerful that it had been outlawed, had become a symbol of fear, hope, and intrigue. As the hunt continued, one thing became undeniable. The Titan had forever altered the balance of power in the universe. It was no longer just a warship. It was a force that would define the future of the galaxy. The final confrontation was fast approaching. The Empire, emboldened by their power and fear of the warship, had assembled their largest fleet ever. Every ship they had, every soldier, and every strategist was now dedicated to one purpose: the destruction of the Titan. The Emperor himself had given the order. The Titan had to be wiped out before it could challenge the very foundation of the Empire. Meanwhile, the Titan drifted through the stars, guided by the unshakable bond between the warship and its human crew. The crew of the Titan was a tight-knit group, each one connected to the ship as if they were part of it. They had come to understand that the warship's power was not just in its weapons or its technology, but in its resilience, its ability to adapt to every challenge. It wasn't just a machine. It was alive with the spirit of those who commanded it. And now, they faced the greatest challenge of all, a galaxy bent on destroying the very thing they had built. But they weren't afraid. They had already fought impossible battles, and each time they had emerged victorious. The crew knew that the Titan was more than just a weapon of war. It was a symbol of everything humanity had endured and overcome. And now, they would show the galaxy what that meant. The final showdown took place on the edge of a dying star system, where the last remnants of the Empire's might met the unstoppable force of the Titan. The Empire's fleet arrived in full force, dozens of warships, each one equipped with the latest technology, ready to destroy the Titan once and for all. But as they approached, they were met with silence. There was no sign of the Titan. It was as if the ship had disappeared. Then, out of nowhere, the first shot rang out. A single beam of energy, so powerful it cracked the fabric of space itself, shot out from the darkness. The Empire's lead ship exploded in an instant, vanishing in a flash of light. The fleet scattered, desperate to retaliate, but they were no match for the warship that had already anticipated their every move. The Titan moved with a precision that seemed impossible, dodging incoming fire and striking with deadly accuracy. The battle raged on, but it was clear that the Empire's fleet was no match for the might of the Titan. Each ship that came into contact with the warship was destroyed, their remains drifting helplessly in space. The Empire's finest officers gave their commands, but nothing seemed to work. No strategy could overcome the sheer power and agility of the Titan. It was like trying to catch the wind. As the final moments of the battle approached, the crew of the Titan knew what had to be done. They had already proven their strength, but it wasn't enough. They needed to end this battle for good. The crew began to prepare the Titan for its final move. The ship's core was powered up, its engines roaring to life with incredible force. The energy of the ship, now fully charged, would be unleashed in a single devastating strike. The Empire's remaining ships tried to regroup, but it was too late. The Titan's weapons fired once more, a beam of energy so powerful that it tore through the heart of the Empire's fleet, disintegrating entire ships in the blink of an eye. The blast sent shockwaves through the galaxy, a warning to anyone who dared challenge the might of the human warship. As the final remnants of the Empire's fleet flooded into the void, the Titan hovered silently above the ruins. The battle was over, but the legacy of the warship had just begun. The galaxy had been forever changed. The Empire's dominance had crumbled, and the other factions began to reevaluate their place in the universe. The Titan had proven that no force was too great for humanity to overcome. But the true power of the Titan was not in its weapons, its speed, or its agility. It was in its legacy. The warship had shown the galaxy what it meant to fight for survival, to never give up, and to push past the limits of what was thought possible. It was a reminder that, no matter how dark the future seemed, humanity's resilience would always shine through. And as the crew of the Titan stood together, looking out into the stars, they knew that their journey was far from over. The galaxy had witnessed their strength, their will, and their ability to rise above every challenge. But there were still more battles to fight, more wrongs to right, and more to be done to protect the future they had fought so hard to create. The final battle had been won, but the war was far from over.